Hello again, whiskey friends. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Hey, and if this is your first time here, why don't you check out the vibe, see if you like to become a friend long term. But for today, we have a blind flight battle that I am extremely excited to get into because this is one of my favorite bourbons in general, and we're going to get to compare different versions of it. So this will be a battle of the A series of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof dating back to the year 2020 through 2023. So we have four batches all lined out here. I've got the pours, here, and I've got them all randomized, so I don't know which one's which. But we're gonna see which one of these sticks out and where this year's batch ranks, because I think this year's batch is special, but there's only one way to prove that, and that is to blind it. So let's have some fun, everybody, and break down these pours. Thanks for joining. Let's kick off the show. All right. So in front of me today, I do have four pours of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, all the A series. Just for a quick little recap, first we have the A120. This one came in at 136.6 proof. It is 12 years. All of these will be 12 years age stated, but this is the highest proof of the flight by a very wide margin, actually. So that'll be interesting to see if this one sticks out. In my mind, this is the leader of the pack. This is the one I think is going to win, but we will see. Next up, we have the A121. This one is 123.6 proof. Then we have the A122. That one is 120.8 proof. 120.8 is the lowest proof in the flight. So there is about 16 proof points that divide the highest and the lowest from a proof perspective in this flight. And then in the middle is the A123. This comes in at 125.6 proof. So before really the last couple years, I mean, these typically were in the 130 range. They are now, in the 120s, even the lower 120s. And I don't know if it's a coincidence or not, but man, that has happened at the same time that the barrel pick program and all these single barrels have launched as well. So I don't know if that is like a related fact or not. Maybe it's just completely a coincidence. But something about these blends has gotten lower from a proof point for whatever reason. And with that, I would say some of the oomph has been taken out of that flavor punch that is typically in this pour, which is why I think the 2020 batch is going to win this blind. But if I were to guess an order before we even go through with this, I am thinking 2020 is the best, 2023 is going to be the runner up, followed by 2022, followed by 2021. 2021 was what I expect to be in last. We will find out. Now, the interesting thing for me in this blind is going to be where the A122 lands. I have had that thing in many a blinds over the last 6 months, and it is a chameleon that really adapts well in a blind and always finds a way to stick out and really punched out some really good bottles last year. So now that it's against itself, I don't know if it'll be able to punch it out, but I've seen it do it quite a few times. But that's my predicted order. But let's get into this and let's see if the A123 lives up to the score that I gave it, which was an 83 out of 100, which is a great pour in our scoring system. All right. Glass number one. Cheers, everybody. I'm going to go through the nose on each of these two, and then we'll get into the palate. I'm going to rank the nose too. The first one's not giving me a whole lot. It comes off flat. I'm getting a little bit of a peanut note, but I'm not even getting the nice oak either. I would say that that's a characteristic of the A121. I'm going to even write down based on the very first sniff. that I do think A is the 121. Hmm. All right, glass two. Bit more going on. An interesting dry corn note. Hmm. Man, these are not leaping out at me like I thought they would. Hmm. Okay, this one's nicer. This one I'm getting some, gosh, even getting some cherry off of this one. This one's starting to give me some good fruits along with the oak. Bit of powdered sugar, some fried dough there. I like that third glass. All right, glass four. Hmm, interesting. I'm not sure which one's one A123, and I was just drinking that one just a little bit ago here. Um, on the nose, they all actually do have distinct characteristics. So I would say the first one came off the flattest. The second one had this nice, just dusty corn, um, kind of a kind of a feel to it. And then even popcorn, maybe even might be the right description. Like if you were just smelling just aged dried corn. And then the third one really got into some nice dynamic fruits. And the fourth one leaned in a little bit to a chocolate note. So they all kind of had their own shift there. What would be interesting is to give this flight to somebody double blind and not tell them it's Elijah Craig and see if they figure it out. Off the nose, though, man, number two even comes off as a almost an American whiskey versus just even a bourbon. Yeah, off the nose, it'd be hard to say that these are all the same. It's got like a bright apple note off of the fourth one. So if I rank these glass three, then four, two, then one, I already have suspicions off the nose. Even off the nose, I think one is 21. I think four, no, let's just go in order. I think two is 22. I think four is 20. And I think three is 23. Man, really putting my hand on that one early. All right, let's get into the tasting here. Cheers, everybody. That's lovely on the palate. A is not as flat on the palate. Has a really nice finish to it as well. So the first glass, flat on the nose, but man, was it flavorful. And when I say it's flavorful, it's it's its best self mid palate with a really really awesome finish. Mm. This finish is rich, vibrant. Gosh, I'm even getting like some peach there, peaches and cream with that nice oak. Man, gonna get a little rinse out here because that finish is baller. Oh wow. Okay, I didn't like that first one on the nose, but Jeezy Pete, that tasted really good. All right, let's get into glass number two. Oh, two's a fruit bomb too. Different fruits though. It was really flavorful up front. The finish though turns a bit drying on this one comparatively. Oh man, beautiful oak. Oh, this nice pastry dough there. Now I'm leaning towards the second glass being A123. I don't know why I'm guessing, by the way. This is not what I should be doing with my time, but all right. Ooh, man, that's really good too. This is probably a tougher thing than I thought. Still different flavor profiles though. I got the rye more off the taste on the first two than I did off the nose, but it is interesting how different they are. I've never done a flight like this before. This is the third glass, by the way. Oh, geez. That's the 2021. Oh, did that just punch me in the face? That's the highest proof thing I've had today. Oh, wow. Oh, that is the volume on that's turned up and it's amazing. I haven't had an Elijah Craig that was that high proof in a while, just because of the last couple of years. Man, did I forget how deep that flavor is. Oh, my eyes are watering. Whoa, that was over the top. I'm going to go back into that one, but oh, that proof adds so much to this thing. Oh, man. Gosh, I kind of forgotten how these things can punch you. Oh, it's just so rich. There's this lovely butterscotch. Cherry still coming through. I mentioned the cherry on the nose on the third glass. That is coming through on the palate. I mean, it is a beautiful note, and that is a beautiful whiskey. That is front runner so far. That one's hard to beat. Oh, man. Oh, man. That's like one of the best things I've had in a while, honestly. That one's really sitting well with me. Whew. Oh, man. I'm going to explore that one again later. Phew. All right, let's go into the fourth glass. All right. The fourth glass really got put in an unfair position here because of these proofs. I'm going to go in for another taste. Ooh, that's a dusty note. That's a real dusty note. I'm going to wash that again before I go into that one. That tasting did not entirely make sense. I'm going to make sure I give it a fair shake there, but I think there was quite a bit of influence from the one before on that one. Oh, this one's beautiful too. Now, I'm getting a Butterfingers note on this one. That would sway me to thinking the 4 might be the 23, which I think is what I said off the nose. Whether I wrote my notes down here and right or not. 23, 20. Oh, man. So I'm going to go through these just real quick one more time. But ultimately, I think how these are going to rank is very similar. Oh, it is the same as the nose. 3, 4, 2, 1 is my pecking order right now. I am going to run these in reverse order, and I am going to leave glass 3 until the end. Glass 3 is winning no matter what. Tell you what, I'm not going to taste glass 3. Yeah, I'll leave glass 3 till the end. But I don't want it to influence what comes in second place here, because that thing is another level, doesn't compete in this flight. We'll see if I'm right on it being the 2020, but the proof is the only thing I can imagine that created what that was. So I'm going to go back into glass 4, work my way backwards. Yeah, glass 4 has some really nice fruits up front. Gives me a Butterfingers in the middle. Butterfingers a little bit on the finish. Nice oak presence throughout. It has a dusty note, though. It does have a dusty note. I don't think it's 123 then if it has a dusty note. That doesn't make any sense to me. Everything else makes sense. I like that glass a lot. All right. Let's go into glass number 2 one last time. By comparison, glass 2 is more of a peanut butter cup sensation. That cherry's still there. I was getting a bit more apple, but that cherry came through, especially on the finish. Even like to the point where it's a Buffalo Trace like cherry. I mean, it's a cherry. That's interesting. Gosh, I like that a lot. 4 and 2 are very darn close. Let me see if glass 1 is truly in last place, and then I can narrow this down a bit more, and we'll get into the results. All right, glass number 1. Nice oak. A little drying. Maybe some apple. I'm not digging one. At least not comparatively to the other ones. The oak on it's nice and everything, but it's just kind of it's just there. All right. So on the taste, first place. All right. I'll do one more sip to confirm, but I'm pretty sure glass 3 is first place. Oh gosh, that is awesome. Cheesy Pete. Man, I haven't gone back far enough in the years. It's almost like I've forgotten how great Elijah Craig Barrel Proof was. I guess I'm assuming it's 2020, so I should just wait to the conclusion for the things that I'm thinking right now. But if that is 2020, man, we were spoiled, and I hope it gets back to that. As much as I loved 123, that is not the same level. So then the debate is actually between 2 and 4. I gave 4 the nod on the nose. I am continually drawn to the cherry note that is on 2. There is a dusty and a Butterfinger note on 4 that I dig. And 2 also had a peanut butter cup. That's a hard choice, man. That's a coin flip there. I am really debating which one to put forward. But do one more quick thing. I agree with the nose. Man, those are insanely close. There is something about glass 2 that I like better. Man, that dusty note on 4 though. Oh, it's that cherry note versus the dusty note. They both have this cool finish note that grabs my attention in this blind flight. And it's like, gotta pick one. All right, I'm going 2, but you guys get my dilemma here as I go into this. This is practically a tie. I am going 2 on the nose. I put 4 first on the taste. I'm putting number 2 before 4. All right. Official order. Glass 3, glass 2, glass 4, glass 1. Let's go to glass 1. Glass 1 I think is the 2021. This is why you blind it. It's the 123. All right. So the one that I thought is flat is also the one that I love this year. That is interesting. So it just didn't stick out in this blind. Man, it had the pole position too. Man. So my learning from this now, with the 123 coming in last place, womp womp, is that the expectations I had on 2021 were probably unfair of what we're going to find on Glass 3, because the 2020 batch is crazy if that is what I think it is. Actually, though, man, if I set myself up for disappointment, I don't know. Let's see. All right, so that ended up being the 23. The fourth glass, which I thought was the 23, is the 22. The cherry notes coming from the dang 21, which I've hated in the past. See, this is why you got blind things. Gosh darn it. That's why I was so confident when I had to write down all those numbers off the nose. Should have known better. Should have known better. All right. Number one. So this is second place, is the number one. Man, 2021. Lowest proof and all. Did I underestimate Mr. 2021 here? Gosh darn. After all of that and all that randomization, I put these things in dang sequential order. That makes today's winner the 2020 batch. That thing is another level, though. Just projecting here. I mean, I graded the 123, which came in last place in this flight, as an 83 out of 100, which is a really great score for our scoring system right now. I mean, that's the second highest scoring thing of the year so far, and the number one bourbon of the year so far that has been graded. So an 83 is a really strong score. If that came in last, I mean, we're splitting hairs a bit. I think all of these fall in the mid to upper 80s. I think the 2020, though, that one would have been dabbling in a score of the 90s. I'm having problems finding even a fault in it. This thing's delicious. Now, I've also had a 19, 18, 17. I think 2020 is the best A batch. You know, I'd have to go back and open some of the ones I have in the closet over here to truly put that to the test. But this one's just another level when it comes to that 2020 batch. So if you see 2020 on the shelf still, buy those things up. Either A, B, C, D. They're freaking amazing. But ultimately in this, the 23 came in last place. I did all that work and 23 came in last place. I am flabbergasted. I shouldn't have been surprised though, because man, Kelsey loved the 123 too. He even graded a little higher than me. And then when he said he blinded it, I think these beat it as well. So sometimes the blind just rules it all. Sometimes it's how these things interact with each other. But that 123 was in the pole position, and I thought it was flat off the start. That is interesting. Well, gleam off of that what you will. The 2020 batch wins it all, followed by the 2021, 2022, 2023. So proof isn't everything, I guess, is kind of the, well, proof is everything until it's not, I guess, is the lesson to learn from this blind flight. Yeah, I'm going to be thinking about this one for a while. I am quite befuddled right now. But thank you for joining me, everybody. That was an interesting blind flight to walk through. Oh, man, that 2020. I'm going to go enjoy the rest of this 2020 edition here. Man, that was good. Thank you for joining me, everybody. I'll catch you next time. Bye, whiskey friends.